The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to a highly anticipated episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews, of course, of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and we can't forget our from entertainer,
Wayne Baker.
Now today we are on location at an event I've been looking forward to a lot, and I haven't been to one of these before. It's a monthly event at Free Will. It is Sour Sunday. Woo! And as such, we have perennial guest with us,
John Stemler.
and we also have joining us at the table a new friend that we're very happy to have with us.
Ethan Buckman.
Now, Ethan, you are from Stickman Brews, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Stickman is fairly new into the beer world, but you are no stranger to the beer world.
I am not. I've brewed at a couple places, including Free Will.
All right.
Before opening my own place.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we're very happy that you're here with us at the table, and we've been talking to you since before we were recording. You're a very jovial person, and it seems like you're having a lot of fun today, and I like that a lot. And you have a killer beard, so there's also that. So, Steph, you got to grow a beard. You're the only one here with that one.
Wow.
This is true, yeah.
I have chin hair.
That counts.
Does that count?
Yeah.
Sure. And, John, we have to thank you for the request of the hats that you wanted us to wear, because I think we look stylish with them.
They're nice. They really are.
I did promise the cheap cigars. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know where my cigar
Oh, yeah. I said that I was going to bring the cigars.
Cigars,
We held up our end of the deal.
And
just-
we gave you Oreos.
yeah.
You
Red
did.
velvet Oreos.
Red, not just Oreos,
right.
red velvet Oreos.
Nabisco, please make your checks payable to Beer Busters Media Limited.
Well, we have a couple things we have to do. First, I want to mention this episode is brought to you by, of course, Audible, audibletrial.com/beerbusters. You can sign up for your free 30-day trial of Audible, where you can get any and all audiobooks you could ever desire. So why not have somebody else read the book for you and to you, because you don't have time to read. And you can do other stuff. When you're sitting down reading a book, you can't do anything else, but if somebody's reading it to you, you could clean the kitchen, you could clean the living room, you could clean other rooms in the house. So, why not go to audibletrial.com/beerbusters, sign up for your 30-day trial, download your free book, keep the book even if you don't keep your membership. But you should keep the membership anyway. audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
And while we're on the subject of plugging things, Dan, we also like to mention once again that we are now on Patreon. Woo! So you go to patreon.com.
I am physically on Patreon right
as
now.
we speak.
Steph is Patreoning right now. It's now in her regular social media circle of things. So if you want to see all the cool stuff that Steph is putting on there that nobody else can see, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters, become a patron. You can donate a couple bucks to us each time we release an episode, as little as $1 a month. Every little bit helps. So go ahead and check it out.
We've got cool rewards there for you, so there's something in it for you. Every donation amount has different rewards you can get. They're exclusive, they're fun, you get to see our exclusive posts that you don't get to see on our other social media outlets. So remember that, patreon.com/beerbusters also. And now the fun part as well, now that we're trying to pay some bills, we have a sipping beer with us. Am I sipping on the right beer?
I don't know.
Is it if it's the
one
really
in the
red
red
one?
one. Yeah, that's
And
what I figured.
it's in the biggest
Starter,
cup.
yes.
All right, and it's in the biggest cup, so of course. But which beer is this as our sipping beer?
This is our sour cherry powered rocket. It's basically a double creek with Weisse Farms sour cherries.
Of course, it would be Weisse Farm.
Yep.
Very cool. The cherry flavor comes through very, very well in this. I like it a lot.
What's the ratio of cherries?
I can't tell you.
Is that a
Or you'd have to kill
secret?
trade
Or you
secret.
don't know?
Oh, I know.
Oh, believe me.
A stupid amount of cherries.
A stupid amount.
A stupid
That's
amount.
an
Is that the
official
actual measurement?
Yeah.
I believe that's
That's
metric.
like metric fuckton.
Yes.
I was going to go with just the box of peppers we put in at Boobies, but
Yeah.
because that's
How
the
many
measurement.
peppers should we put in? The
box.
whole box.
The whole box.
Duh.
Yeah, it's like 5,000 pounds and about 40 barrels of beer, resulting in a little less than 30 barrels of beer.
And what
Wow.
makes it a double creek?
Just because we're using a lot more cherries than we really should be.
Because it's only 5.5%. So
Yep.
typically when you throw the word double in front of a style like double IPA, usually it's much higher in alcohol.
Yeah, a lot of the cherry flavor ended up yielding in some residual gravity, so it didn't get as strong as I probably would have liked, but the flavor is right where I want it, so who cares about the alcohol?
It is quite tasty. And this was one of the exclusive beers released at this month's Sour Sunday. And typically each Sour Sunday there are a few beers that are just available on that Sour Sunday?
Yep. Yeah, well, this is basically a preview for 2 beers. The bottles are conditioning. The draft is ready earlier because we're not re-fermenting it. But the bottles will be ready hopefully in the next couple months.
Nice. I'll definitely be buying a few bottles of this.
Yes. This is delicious.
For sure.
I'm glad I got into sours. Thank you for doing that to me, guys.
Sorry.
Had to show you the light, Dan.
Of course. Of course. You know, there was a time I didn't like beer at all, and now look at me.
Get out.
Hey, I saw the light.
Leave the mics in the mixer behind.
I'll leave the mixer because the business owns that.
Okay, well, that computer's mine, so.
Oh.
That's true. The working computer's yours.
We could all just talk into the ambient microphone on the MacBook. So that would be an awesome podcast.
God. That would be terrible.
That's like your 14-year-old friends that are like, I record a podcast in my garage.
Oh my God, that's just awful.
That was a tangent.
I'm gonna cut you off and do this. At 9:30 this morning, I realized I didn't have any news stories, so I scrambled to get some because that's what I did. But I have what I think are interesting stories, and they're incredibly up to date.
Nice. Bring it.
For a change.
So here's something that's cool. Out of Philly, some students have found a way to pretty much, they could in theory change the entire beer industry. I know what you're going to say, I know, but I'm interested in the science behind it, and I think it's going to be, Steph's very emphatically shaking her head.
Beer takes
whipping
time.
her hair back and forth, as you would. What if brewers could speed up the fermentation
I
of
saw
beer?
this, yeah.
A trio of Penn students believe they've discovered a way to do that. The idea won Penn's $10,000 Y prize. It uses Penn-owned technology to combine micro droplets of sugar liquids and yeast in precisely controlled quantities to maximize the efficiency of fermentation. That could shorten a 3-week brewing process to 1 week, and the prize includes the rights to commercialize the application, and the Wharton students say that big beer makers are already calling.
No.
Now, exactly. I had a feeling that we get. I like the science that they're looking into that, but I agree. I mean, as somebody who's never actually brewed myself, it takes time, and you can't rush the art of good beer.
Well, so I'd like to say 2 things about this.
Please.
Number one, any skilled brewer can ferment and package a beer in 3 or 4 days if they would like to.
Right.
Hefeweizen and Saisons, they can go out that time. A lot of the time that it takes for brewing a beer has nothing to do with how long it takes the yeast to consume the sugar. Correct. So the science theoretically is very cool, but it kind of indicates a fundamental misunderstanding about what actually makes beer taste good.
Right.
And most of that period of time is something called conditioning that has nothing to do with the active fermentation.
Right. And there were a lot of comments I saw on this article. I saw it posted a few places. I go on Reddit a lot, and it was in a couple of the beer subreddits I was on. A lot of the comments were how it's going to affect flavor, how it's going to affect the overall outcome of it. And there's a lot of other things that go into it, but I kind of like where their heads are at, but at the same time, I don't.
I see this being more applicable in alcohol-producing plants.
Yeah.
Maybe distillation for consumption, but
Yeah.
definitely for alcohol, for like ethanol plants for making for gasoline additives, things like that.
Yeah.
It'll help them. Basically, they build a reactor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does feel more like like almost a synthetic type of process. Not that it is, but you know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's not, I mean, you're making beer, it's not strictly chemistry. It's a lot of chemistry,
Right.
but it's half chemistry, it's half craft. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not,
It's
so yeah.
chemistry, it's engineering.
It's janitorial
Janitorial
work.
work, yep.
It's
Primarily janitorial.
It's primarily janitorial work.
You're a janitor that happens to produce alcohol.
Yeah, and it's an interesting science, and it's interesting, and like John mentioned, I'm sure it applies to producing alcohol for other purposes, but for making good beer,
I'm interested to see what happens with it in the long run.
They made $10,000. That's what they did.
Exactly, yeah. There's students that made $10,000.
Yeah.
One of them is a self-proclaimed CEO of some financial startup I saw. So, I mean, this kid's already, so $10,000 doesn't really do much for him. But, yeah, must be
I don't
nice.
know, $10,000 in college, no matter what you're doing,
Yeah, but they're Wharton kids.
buys a lot of 40-ounce bottles.
Yeah.
It does.
They're Wharton kids. They're
He probably
above
drinks
the 40.
MGD.
Well, it did say they were being courted by some of the big ones like AB InBev and Miller Coors and all the
Well, and
ones
that's the sort. It sounds like the kind of thing that you would do at a place where you're mass-producing
Right.
assembly
Well,
line.
but here's the thing: is that even those beers, the time constraint has nothing to do with the fermentation time. It's a
Exactly,
lagering.
yeah.
It's the lagering period, which
Yeah.
which occurs
Back to maturation.
post-fermentation. Yeah. So even for AB InBev, I was confused when I heard that because the reason that AB InBev in Budweiser uses the beechwood is to increase the surface area to make the fermentation happen quicker. Was under the impression they were already fermenting beers in 4 days. So
Maybe this would be a cheaper process with the same
That could be,
fermentation
yeah.
time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, now that they
Yeah.
dropped $100 and some odd billion dollars.
But it's like,
to-
I mean, you could build a robot that can manufacture wooden chairs, but they're not going to be the same as a handmade wooden chair.
Yeah.
Regardless. Like,
It's true.
You know,
that's true. They don't have blood or
and
sweat
that's,
to get into
that's
it.
my metaphor.
There you go. Well, I'm interested to see where that goes. Here's something else I saw. If your drink of choice hails from a craft beer label or a small vineyard, you might soon have trouble finding it at the supermarket. So this applies to anybody that's not in Pennsylvania. Kroger, one of the world's largest grocery chains, has proposed a plan that would let a private distributor oversee how much Prominence brands get in stores, the Wall Street Journal reported. What's more, the alcohol companies will be asked to pay for the services of the distributor. So this is a big shift from the previous system in which the largest alcohol producers, like AB InBev, use their role as category captains to dole out advice about how much shelf space to give various alcohol labels. The proposed change is particularly worrisome for smaller labels since it could be more of a burden on them to find money to pay the distributor, Southern Wine and Spirits, for placement in the stores. The new system would also implement a voluntary quarterly fee for alcohol producers based partially on how much volume a store carries. Kroger thinks the plan will allow it to rearrange the store shelves more frequently to better represent consumer preferences, like seasonal wines and a lot of trending craft beer
How
brands.
does how much money that they can put up to be put on the shelf
Exactly.
reflect consumer preferences?
Exactly, that's
They're
the thing.
completely unrelated.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go with that, because I don't think that really shows much about the consumer trends. I mean, you could make the argument that if it's a consumer trend, it'll be a brand that then makes more money that can afford to put themselves on the shelves in more prominent space. But I don't really think they're going in the right direction.
And if you're as a grocery store owner, you know what brands are selling and what aren't in your store, so you can make the decision where
Yeah.
you want to place, what brands get prominence and what don't based on the traffic in your store, not by how much money the company that produces it is willing to give you.
Right.
Agreed.
As sort of like pay for play. I mean, this is just like the AB InBev incentive to the distributor. It's all like
That's-
ridiculous.
Well, that's my question. Who owns this private distributor?
Probably 51% AB InBev executives.
More than likely, yeah.
Or ex-executives.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's the
probably.
thing. They're all
Who don't really
probably
work
in
for them
cahoots.
anymore, but kind of do.
Yeah, they're all in cahoots with them.
Everybody knows it, though. I mean, the market is moving in such a direction that most educated consumers are probably not making their serious purchase decisions at a place like a Kroger grocery store anyway, right? Which is, I mean, I'm cool with that. But you see a lot of producers, including bigger regional type of distribution guys like Free Will, down to smaller companies like mine, depending more and more on in-house type of releases to just avoid the situation altogether. Yeah. And guess what? Your people are kind of giving up on going out to these bigger stores to begin with.
Yeah.
Where are these Krogers? What stores what states are they in?
You know what? It actually doesn't say in the article. I feel like I've come across one on the
Don't they
West Coast.
own?
I think they own
Turkey Hill.
Do they?
I think they might.
I think they owned Acme also.
Yeah,
as
or
one of their
they're-
labels.
The company that owns Turkey Hill is either that or it's a similar name to Kroger's,
Yeah.
but it's something like that.
Yeah, I actually don't know, and I don't know that I have internet.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
fact check.
and it's true that people who are looking for the best beer they can buy aren't going to a grocery store to get it. They're going to a bottle shop or they're going directly to the brewery, which is fine. But it's just another thing that's going to prevent there from being the big nationally distributed craft beer companies that there were. Like, there's not going to be another Stone. There's not going to be another Rogue. There's no room for the companies to grow like
It's
that.
a new avenue for control. It's a creative way of applying more controls.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the best choice a consumer can have is having even any store where you sell craft beers, having a manager, a purchaser there that listens to his client base and purchases accordingly.
Right. Yeah.
If X brand moves faster, you bring it in more frequently.
they do own Turkey Hill.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, John.
Turkey Hill, yeah.
The reason I thought I saw them on the West Coast was they own Ralph's, which I know I've gone into in California before. They own a lot. They own Ralph's. They own King Soopers, which is Soopers. Turkey Hill, Fry's, something called Baker's. Yay. Quick Shop, Payless Supermarkets, not the shoe
I
store.
assure you we are open. Sorry.
Quick Shop,
but
not stop.
the terrifying thing about this is, I mean, they're not just a small grocery store
No,
chain. This is
they're
a
huge.
big company.
Yeah.
So first Kroger's, then what? I mean,
Yeah.
There was even a quote, where is it in this article? If Kroger's plan is approved, quote, what stops every other grocer from doing the same thing? Paul Gatza, director of the craft beer organization Brewers Association, posed to Wall Street Journal, which is right. I mean, if it works for them, and they're the conglomerate that can easily make something like this work, if it works for them, what's going to stop all your other ones from doing
It will work. It will work for
And
the accounts, but it won't work for customers. And ultimately, customers will get loud and it'll go back. It's just another way to apply some control from bigger companies.
Yeah.
and that's the bottom line. We vote with our dollars. And,
Yeah.
you know, you need to make a decision when you walk into the store, what you buy, where you buy it.
I vote with the few of them I have.
600 feet of Bud Light on shelves does not make them sell any more Bud Light.
That's true.
No,
Yeah.
it just
But
makes
the
it look like
question
they do.
remains then, how hard is it going to be for casual beer drinkers to get into craft beer if they're not being exposed to it at the places that they shop?
There you go.
Good friends.
That's true.
Yeah, good
I'm going to play
friends.
devil's advocate, but I think that it's kind of irrelevant now with the pervasive nature of craft beer. We have so many avenues to get craft beer.
yeah.
Between home brewers and friends and camels and mules and everybody else who knows beer.
As sort of like anecdotal evidence, if you go out in the city with a group of people, when you go out with a crew of guys and everybody or girls or whoever, especially in mixed company, the guy in the group that orders the Miller Lite or often even the Yingling, everybody kind of like apologizes to the bartender for that dude. Especially, I live in kind of a hipster neighborhood in South Philly, and you see it all the time. You watch other people do it, and everybody goes out, and you'll always hear like a little side comment. Everybody will order this or that or this or that, and somebody will say, "Give me a Bud." And their friends will be like, "Oh, he doesn't get out much," or something. But even though it's meant jokingly as a casual comment, it's already entering our culture. The guy that's ordering the shitty beer, his friends are apologizing for him to the bartender.
I've done that.
So I think that's where it's going. I think at this point it's a matter of convincing people to go the other way.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to all of a sudden
true.
say, "You know what? We hate good flavor." Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
We hate good flavor.
As
Are you tired of flavor in your beer?
yeah, right.
Do you just want to get drunk without tasting anything?
When I posted a thing on my Facebook about my Blizzard prepared kit, which was just all craft beer, somebody else put a picture on my Facebook of snow through somebody's door that they carved out and put a shelf in there to put their beer on.
Yep.
So somebody said on mine, like, "Oh, where's the Miller Lite?" And I had to take the politically correct route and go, "I left it in the store for somebody who would appreciate it more than me."
That's pretty fair.
There you go.
I was proud of that answer.
There you go.
There's one more thing I want to bring up because I really want to try this beer. Wicked Weed French Toast Imperial Stout.
In a can.
Yes. It is already on tap in, of course, Asheville, North Carolina at the brewery. These will be the first cans ever released by the brewery, and there won't be many, at least this time around, the article says. Wicked Weed French Toast Imperial Stout is brewed with cinnamon, maple syrup, and vanilla beans. The batch was brewed on a small system at the original brew pub. Only a pallet and a half will be available. 4 packs are $15, limited to 1 case per person. On site, the release was the end of January. It was the 30th. So if you happen to get to Asheville, get there, get this if you can, and good God, give me a can of it. I will pay you.
Nick Tarnowski, we're talking to you.
Yes. Yeah, Nick. I really want to try that. I started drooling when I saw that. That sounds fantastic.
Does sound
French
tasty.
toast
We'll see.
beer.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want French toast now.
So you have that with the Dogfish Head breakfast beer, Scrapple.
Oh, yeah, the Scrabble one. Yeah.
And then what's
Where's
the
Ben Potts?
what's that?
We need Ben Potts to talk about that.
The toaster pastry one or whatever it was called.
Which was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
It's a balanced breakfast.
21st Amendment.
Yeah, that's it.
And then, of course, you can wash it all down with a beer mosa.
Yeah.
Gotta
There
go
you
fancy.
And you
Yeah.
need a coffee stout.
Of course.
Coffee stout, yeah.
And you'll be drunk by 9 a.m.
Exactly.
Perfect. That's the right kind of day.
That's called the work day.
I took a picture out there and put it on my personal Instagram, and I hashtag my job makes me drink. Okay, so that's the news, and I just finished off my my wood cherry double creek rocket.
Sour cherry powered rocket.
Powered rocket. Okay. It was very delicious. And I can't believe that even a year ago I wouldn't have appreciated this event. So thank you for putting it on. Thank you for having us here.
And it just amazes. This is what, my 4th or 5th Sour Sunday now. It amazes me how everyone just gets bigger and bigger. I mean, you're busting at the seams here. There were people in line before you open the doors. I mean, there's so many celebrities in the house. I mean, original.
Where?
There's original flavor
Well,
Josh.
Original
I'm
flavor
here.
Josh and, Mark are here from Deer Creek. I think at least one of them has been to every Sour Sunday that I've been to.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, you have, I guess we got to give Mike Weiser a shout out.
Say,
you know, the
Weiser
man with
Farms
the fruits
represent
Fruit
and the
farmer.
veggies.
Yeah.
And then
Our friends, the Hopheads, of
are
course.
here. We brought a whole van full of friends.
There's
with
people
as
selling
well.
Girl Scout cookies.
Zach from Bistro and Bridge is here. I mean, just a lot of cool people. I mean, it's not just a place that beer drinkers come. I mean, a lot of people in the industry come because they know how awesome of a day this is. Now, I do have to ask, did you have yoga this morning?
No, it's I think next Sunday.
Yeah.
Something
Because
like
I
that.
believe last Sour Sunday was also yoga day, wasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to start doing yoga.
Yoga in a brewery. I mean, come
Well,
on.
I mean, that's even better. You know what? When I was looking for articles this morning, I saw there was one, and I don't know where it was out of, but it's a yoga class that immediately afterwards will relax with beers to kind of help rehydrate you, but also relax after relaxing with yoga.
There you go.
I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But no, I got to start doing it. And so how many Sour Sundays does this make? What number is this? A lot?
You used to, yeah, they used to put the
They used
number.
to number them,
Yeah.
but then you get
We restarted because of 2016. We're going to go every other month now because it gets
Oh,
to be a little
okay.
much. We're looking at
Yeah.
doing something else every other month instead of the Sour Sunday.
Well, that's when you do the yoga.
By the way, we make other things besides Sour Sunday.
Yes.
Right, yeah. Well, of course, one of my favorite beers is COB. I love that beer.
Well, you're going to like the new beer coming out next month then.
Really?
Yeah, we're doing an amplified version of COB that's been aged in cruising rum barrels with
Oh my
molasses and cane sugar and
I think
more
you told
coffee.
us about that at Brewforia.
Probably, yeah.
Is that ready yet?
No. Well, yes, we're just waiting for the label approval and things like that.
Okay. Because I know the word we had gotten then was it may or may not be ready.
Yeah, it's ready. It's tasty.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's
Dom's
ready
worried
and
about
it's-
the coffee confusing people and it conflicting with the quality of the beer itself, but it's still getting coffee.
Do you use local coffee?
Yes. Speakeasy.
Speakeasy. That's right. I do remember that. Okay. So when does that come out?
Probably the end of February, if not early March.
I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll keep an eye on your social
The
media.
interview segment has just turned into Dan asking John when beer's coming out.
Yeah, exactly. So when can I get this? And when can I get that? And when can I get this?
Yeah. So you the Sour Sundays, you use them to preview new beers that have come out. So you said the cherry one, that'll come out in bottles. It's just conditioning, was
Yep.
it now? Okay.
Correct.
So what is the other one that's going to be...
The Provisional Funk, which is a Brett Saison with Shiro and Methley plums from, again, Weisser Farms.
Man, wonder why you keep using them.
And we're going to do 2 different releases of that beer. This one's of plums, and then in the fall we'll do raspberries.
Ooh.
Oh,
So that'll go in the tank soon, and then the raspberries will start popping. We'll put them in and leave it in the barrels until September-ish, and then we'll bottle it.
So I know, like, obviously the inspiration for doing Sour Sundays is that you are very big into brewing sour beers, and you're very good at it, and they're all delicious. And I think you mentioned one of the other 100 times you were on the show that you were kind of surprised with the reaction that there was a lot of sour heads out there
Correct.
in the area that are
Yeah.
willing to come.
Well, Perkasie's not really anywhere, really. So when we did the one bottle release for the white, which we did for the Philly Beer Scene Awards, we then remade it and released it to the public, and a whole lot of people showed up, and I went, maybe people are willing to come out for some sour event, so we created Sour Sunday, and clearly there are enough of us to
Yeah.
show up once a month and hang out together.
There are dozens of us.
And I know I actually saw on Facebook maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago now, you had posted that you ran out of flight glasses.
Yes, I was like 20 minutes in.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Those
problem
things
to
have a
have.
habit of running away.
Yeah. Whoops. And then you see the people coming around desperately. Are you done with these? Are you done with these? Are you done? Because we got to wash them and use them.
Hurry up and chug the beer.
It's a good problem to have.
Assertive bus people.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you quick take that? I want to take that one with me.
Yeah.
So the new brewing system is now officially fully operational and in full effect now.
Yes, we are a real brewery now. 4 total years in, we now function like a normal brewery with a normal system, with normal everything.
Very cool. And you keep adding more and more vessels in which to ferment and store beer. Every
Correct.
time we come, there's more and more barrels and fermenters. And so talk about that expansion.
We have the 460s running up here and the 430s running full steam now, and we need probably that much more to keep up this year. So we're going to probably slide in a few tanks in the next couple of weeks to try and keep up with demand.
And all this, the sour program, is that all still in barrels right now?
Barrels and tanks of various shapes and configurations down the basement. That's all downstairs. We have space down there for fermentation. We just don't have space up here for clean beer like Craggle. Mm-hmm. Keeping up with Craggle is a problem. There's 120 barrels of Craggle out there right now.
Wow. It's a good beer. People want it.
It's a great beer.
So I guess we should talk to the other guy at the table, too.
I was about to get there. So
I mean, I'm just having fun. I'm just here enjoying myself.
He just
guess-
wanted his picture taken.
Well, yeah.
I really just wanted my picture because I like to look at myself.
Well, that's why I always have a microphone in front of me. I like to hear myself. So of course, Ethan from Stickman. The brewery is in Royersford.
Yes.
So you make that trek out there.
Yes.
How long does that take you to get there?
Not that long. I go at off hours.
Okay.
But I have a cool little route that I go through. I go like behind the zoo, and then I drive through Southwest, which is lovely this time of year. It's just beautiful in the winter. The snow-covered abandoned houses are just to die for.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's a haunting landscape.
But no, so I drive a little bit through the city, and I avoid most of the Schuylkill Expressway. Takes me about 40 minutes to get out there. Remember, before I was there, I worked for Free Will, which is a longer drive from Philly, substantially. So by about half an hour.
Wow.
So the commute doesn't really bother me.
Okay, well that's good.
Now, looking at the notes, you have you mentioned working at Free Will, but you've had some experience working at a number of places.
Yeah, I've been kind of all over the world. I started brewing commercially in Pittsburgh. I worked full-time for the Church Brew Works and Hofbrauhaus out there, as well as part-time for a really small operation called the Copper Kettle. I moved to Oklahoma, which is a long story, but I moved to Oklahoma, and I worked full-time for a brewery called Mustang and did some small-scale consulting work or side work for almost every other brewery in the state at that time. There aren't a ton of them. So that was pretty fun. I was kind of like my cousin Vinny down there. And then I moved back here. I did some work. I was the cellar master for Amalthea Winery briefly. I called John repeatedly, basically saying, please get me out of here, until he hired me, at which point I started as a shift brewer for them. And I don't know, maybe a month or two after I was here, I was promoted to the head brewer position. I was here roughly about a year at Free Will, and then I moved to open my own place.
Was that
nice.
Always the goal? Once
Yeah.
you got into beer, you're like, you knew you wanted to open your own brewery.
When I was 16 years old, I had a business class in high school, and I wrote a business plan about how I wanted to open a brewery.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, and I saw that you'd been homebrewing since you were 19.
so I was 18.
18.
My first commercial brewing job was when I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that go over?
Homebrewing?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I would imagine, especially
brewing when you can't legally drink it.
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
what you're
well, so
trying to-
that's why.
Yeah.
They don't ID you for barley. So I moved to
Very good point.
I moved to Pittsburgh. I was living in a dorm at the University of Pittsburgh. I really needed spending money. Nobody wanted to hire me for a part-time job. I didn't want to commit a felony. So I bought a hot plate from CVS, and I started brewing beer in my dorm room, which I sold to everybody else who lived in the dorm room.
Wow.
The fact that the RA was also underage at the time really
yeah.
benefited me.
I thought you said you didn't want to commit a felony.
Yeah, right.
No, that's a misdemeanor in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Fair enough. I looked it up. And that's how I got started brewing. Within about 6 months, I realized I really liked brewing and really did not like college. So by the very beginning of my sophomore year of college, I had gotten an internship at the Church Brewworks when I was 19. By that summer, they offered me a full-time job, so I dropped out of college, and I've been brewing full-time ever since.
Wow. And you've moved pretty fast. I mean, you are unfortunate for me to say, relatively young, 24 years old.
Yeah, I'm 24,
And opening your own place. So that's a pretty... I'd say a pretty fast progression. I mean, 5 years.
I have I have 2 business partners, my cousin Jim and his wife Kate, who were pretty instrumental in getting the place open. I was certainly the brewer, obviously, but my cousin Jim and Kate, they're both older than I am, and Kate has a pretty serious business background, and Jim has a real estate background and also a background in any trade you can think of. So the business wouldn't have been, we did all the work in the brewery ourselves, and it wouldn't have been built without Jim, and logistically it probably wouldn't exist without Kate. Right. So yeah, I'm the brewer, and I guess I'm the face of the company, but without my business partners who are older and more established than me, the company wouldn't have existed.
Right.
And you're located in the former Sly Fox Brewery in Royersford.
Yes, the former Sly Fox production facility.
Was there equipment left behind that you were able to use?
No. Typically, when somebody buys something that costs $300,000 or $400,000, they don't leave it behind. But the reason that I said it like that is, I would say 1 out of 3 customers asks us that question, and we don't want to be snarky to people, but it is kind of.
No, hopefully now that they listen to this, they don't have to ask.
Right?
You, so you're welcome.
This is your FAQ.
Yes. So the answers to all the standard questions that we get about that space are: no, the equipment is not from Sly Fox. It's our own equipment. We do not know what happened to the Lucky Lab, which is the last tenant of the front restaurant space. We do not know who is going into that restaurant space. No, we don't plan to use it. Those are all the typical
Will
questions.
you host any goat races at your location?
I don't think that we will be racing any goats. No.
What about pigs? Would you race pigs?
Maybe a pig.
And then the loser becomes bacon.
Oh.
I would not really consider. I view livestock sort of like vegetables with circulation. I would hope that they all become bacon eventually, because otherwise they're useless.
What you may not know is Ethan also likes food as much as he likes beer.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
The look on Steph's face was priceless.
Steph is not going to be my friend at the end of this.
Steph the vegetarian.
Oh my God.
It's all good. We'll see after I taste his beers if I'll be his friend.
That'll be the true judge.
Then she's really not going to like me.
Well, speaking of your beers, what sorts of styles of beer are you into? What sorts of styles are you brewing at your place, and what do you have to offer right now?
So everything that we do is open top fermentation. We have a little bit of wild yeast in almost everything that we brew. It's not necessarily sour, but everything's kind of funky. The concept for the beer is, what if there was an American farmhouse brewing culture? So all of those kind of rustic techniques and just kind of brewing for flavor that you see in the French and Belgian styles of farmhouse brewing, we adapted all those ideas to the current American craft beer palate. So we do a lot of sour mash beers, as well as a lot of Brett fermentation. We use a lot of yeast blends, so traditional farmhouse or Belgian yeast strains with other ones and Brett mixed in to create weird fermentation characteristics. I dump the house wild yeast culture on the floor every Monday and rub it into the concrete with a deck brush so that it'll spore and get into everything. Wow. So yeah, just all kinds of funky, rustic stuff. The initial tap list had a lot more clean beer because I wanted people to get used to drinking at our place before I had to convince them to get used to the beer. But you're going to see over the next couple of months, it's going to be much more uncommon to see a clean beer than it will be to see a sour or wild beer at our place.
Nice. That all sounds incredibly good and interesting. I really like that.
But I noticed when you brought out your beers that we'll try in a little bit, you said you brought the anti-sour beers.
So I brought some pretty. Both of them have a little bit of Brett in them, so there's a little bit of funk. But actually, no, the Crushing Student Debt didn't end up having Brett.
I love the name.
I'm sorry. So I brought 2 beers with me. Crushing Student Debt, which is a Belgian double brown, which was fermented with a blend of Abbey Ale yeast. Psychosomatic has Abbey Ale yeast and a little bit of Brett in it. That's a heavily hopped Belgian dark strong. But since it's Free Will's event, they're doing the Sour Sunday, I thought I wouldn't try and be Mr. Me Too, so I brought some beers that had a different kind of funk to them.
Now, you opened fairly recently from what I saw.
Yeah, December 18th we opened.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're at this point, as of the recording, a month and a half. How's it been going?
It's been going pretty well, especially considering that end of December through January is traditionally the very, very slowest part of the year for any business. We've been over the moon about the reception and the success that we've had so far.
So you have a tasting room there.
We
Or
don't
you
do
strictly
any
production right
distribution.
now?
We don't do any distribution. So we have a brewery G license, which in Pennsylvania means that we can't be open till 2. We can't operate like a table service type of restaurant.
Right.
But we have some hot food for people to snack on, or we have food trucks, and we operate primarily out of our tasting room. The distribution is going to come later. Okay. But basically think of us as a beer bar that makes it in-house.
Right.
And we have a hot dog roller.
And we have a hot dog roller. Sold.
And perhaps Oreos in the future.
And now that I'm tasting these red velvet
They're
Oreos,
so good. They're unbelievably good. Yeah, well, I think on that note, we should do this.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
So some people were kind enough to drop off a few other beers to us. I don't know what they are or in what order I'm supposed to drink them, but they all look delicious.
Gentlemen,
next
what
is
should we
the-
drink next?
Dark Delight.
Dark Delight. I'm guessing that's the dark one.
Yes.
All right.
That's Ollie.
Oh, that's Ollie. I was going to say, wait a minute. I didn't write down Dark Delight. I don't know what's going on. Right.
This is a Flanders Red, Flemish Brown, Oud Brun, Sour Brown. Same thing.
And this one was just released in bottles.
December?
You didn't have
Ooh.
a sour
No,
Sunday in
I don't
December.
think I did a bottle release for the... Did I? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't
It all
know.
runs
we
together.
can ask Hannah.
Yeah,
She'll
she'll
remember.
Yeah. I don't know.
All I know is I still have a bottle of it in my fridge.
This is delicious. I've never had this before.
Oh my God!
This
Look
is
at
so
your.
good.
Did you see his face?
Wow. First time I've ever tried it.
This is 3 years in a fooder, and then we blended it with another beer that was 2 years in French oak red wine barrels.
Oh, nice, nice.
That would explain why you like it so much. The red
all of
wine.
those things,
Yep.
yes, all of those things. But I like it. Like it's sour, it's tart, it's nice. It's not super
I'm spilling it.
stingy.
Oh, you gotta label it. Then.
Yes, yeah, you got to label your spill. But it does. It has like that oaky, almost
Yeah, you still get that
like
vanilla.
a caramely vanilla note in the background that complements the sour really well. It's
Yeah.
really
Oh, I
good.
like the caramely vanilla. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like toasted vanilla, but that's a good
Yeah,
way to
No,
it's
describe it.
I got the caramel out of it too.
Yeah.
It complements it so well with the tartness to it, and
Yeah.
it's a nice layered flavor.
It's got a nice complexity to it. It's got a lot of things going on.
The aftertaste, the two like mix together at that point. So like when I take a sip, I get the caramel, then the tartness, and then both of them together after I swallow it. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
And a touch of French toast.
Just a touch.
But it does have a nice, like, soury but still sweet, very interesting character to it. I really like this.
I think Rodenbach is the really market example of something like this. Got that sweet and sour blended version.
Right, yeah.
It might not come out this year. We have it in a fooder now, but we'll see.
Well, I want more of it.
Yeah.
How long would you let a bottle of this sit?
Well, that remains to be seen. We've only been open a little over 4 years. So, I mean, most sour beer, I say 5 years is safe. After that, you might start to get some oxidative character, but really it takes all that extra time to figure that out.
I don't think it would last 5 years.
I don't think
No.
so.
Yeah,
There's
how
no way.
would you have the patience to let it... Like, if I buy
know.
a bottle of beer, I'm going to drink the bottle of beer.
Buy it, a bunch of it, and then
Yes.
stack it behind other stuff so
Yeah.
you can't get
So you
to
can't
it.
get
Although,
to it,
Exactly.
yeah.
I did accidentally age a bottle of Bourbon County that you gave me, Steph. I aged it another year by... No, 2 years by accident.
Accidentally.
Yeah. I just forgot it was in my fridge.
That's
That
how you
will
do it.
well. That will do well for that beer.
Went
Yeah,
very
that's the
well.
kind of beer you want to just let it sit.
Yeah.
So what's the... Okay, so this was dark. What was it called?
It's an Oud Brun.
All right, but you said Ollie was... But you said another name first, and I was confused. Dark...
Oh, sour brown, Flemish red, Flanders red.
Dark
Flemish
something.
brown.
Wasn't there a dark something?
Magic? Dark...
Dark magic? What
Dark-
is happening right now?
There was a dark something.
It's Ollie Sour Brown.
Dark Delight.
Dark Delight.
Dark
Oh, that was
Delight.
the order.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dark to light.
I thought you
Dark
said...
Delight.
Dark Delight, as in that was the name.
That works too.
That's what I thought too.
You said Dark
Oh.
2 Light.
Oh, see, that's where I okay.
Oh,
That's
wow.
why I was confused. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was like,
I
don't
I
have
may
a
have been
Dark Delight
drinking.
here.
Dark Delight.
So it's just Ollie. It doesn't have
Yes.
a separate name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Ollie.
Got it. Okay.
After the sock puppet.
Oh, Cephalon Ollie?
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and he's on the label, right?
Yep, that he is.
How do your lawyers feel about that?
We'll see.
Good answer. Good
Remains
answer.
to be seen.
And this is a beer. I've seen this out at other places too. Like I believe I saw it on the shelves at Wegmans. I picked up another bottle at Hunger and Thirst in Lancaster. So it's nice that, I mean, you want to come here and get it first, but some of these do trickle out and find their way in other places as well.
I try to make as much as I can of something. The Walesboro level of bottling is under 600 bottles. I very rarely make under 600 bottles. It's usually nothing less than 1,800. So, and this one we did a little over 2,000, I believe.
So do you release it here first and then decide what you're
Usually,
distributing
yeah.
out?
Yeah. What I'll usually do is I'll tie the release to whenever it goes on our wholesaler's truck for the first time. So I'll release it that Sunday.
So if you come here, you get first dibs.
Yep. And we're usually a little cheaper. We set the MSRP, but people find that they can probably charge a little more and get away with it. But whatever my
course.
MSRP is what it is here.
Do you set a limit to how many bottles people can buy when on release days?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Usually we try and keep it at about a case of 12. I think that's reasonable. If we sell out, oh well, I'll make more.
Music to my ears.
So if we're going dark to light, what is the next one that is slightly lighter?
This is the Provisional Funk Brett Saison on the Shiro and Methley plums from Weisse Farms again.
I just want to say that you do now have to make a beer called Dark Delight.
I can do
It's
that.
got to happen at some point.
I kind of want to put coconut and dark chocolate in that, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Nice.
I approve.
Something sweet and lovely.
And I love, now this is brewed with malt from
Deer Creek.
Deer Creek Malt House. And I know that Original Recipe and Mark are here, and I believe Extra Crispy is coming later.
Oh, is
so
Extra
it's
Crispy
nice
coming?
to see that they're not just business
Are they going to have a
partners,
beard
but
off?
They are beard off.
They have stage names.
They're all getting big beards.
Steph, again, you need to grow a beard.
Whatevs. But I love that they are. It's like the hair commercial. I'm not just the owner. I'm a customer as well, or whatever.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
not just
yeah.
business partners. They're fans and as well.
Yeah, Josh is here pretty regularly. He comes probably every other week at this point. So we make a lot of beer with their malt for sure.
Their malt's fantastic.
Have you brewed with their malt yet?
Oh, yeah.
Well, beside at your place. I know
Yes, twice. Beer from a Farm, which is our only year-round or close to year-round beer, has Deer Creek in it. I've got my own Flemish Red, also not called Dark Delight, that will be on tap. That will probably not be ready till June, but that's a Deer Creek beer. And I'm slated to get a lot more malt from them as well. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you flagging them down?
drinking your beer. So we thought you'd want to come in and maybe say a word or two.
It's amazing.
Yes,
Isn't
it is.
That's Mark.
That was Mark, everyone.
I feel like it's missing something though, and I'm a huge Freewell fan, but I wasn't here the day that you guys brewed this, and I feel like it's just like it's just missing.
It's
this
missing
one-
that-
Oh, it's missing a touch
you
of
know,
Mark.
His hand wasn't in it.
It's the Deer Creek je ne sais quoi.
But it is amazing. Really, really amazing beer.
Yes, it is.
What has it been like for you guys building such a great relationship with people like John and now Ethan coming in? I mean, I was saying to the guys earlier, you're not just business partners. I mean, you're fans as well. You're here all the time drinking.
Yeah, huge fans of both of these brewers here, and they make our jobs a lot easier. I mean, we try and put our malt in the hands of the best brewers and let them do the rest.
Yeah,
So-
because their product is a reflection of you guys and your product as well. Yeah. Like it. Josh, would you like to say a few words?
What's the relationship like?
Loving.
Very
And we
nice.
do have to tell our listeners, yes, Original Recipe Josh is getting quite the beard now. I snapped a slightly flattering picture that I'll post
Slightly.
on social media.
It's my winter coat. You know, I got to keep the winter coat going.
It's true. There's a lot of snow out there right now.
I didn't recognize you at first.
I did a double take. Yeah.
We live in a barn, so we need to stay warm in the winter.
That's
true.
Winter
Yeah.
coat.
Yeah.
You have to look the part.
Someone call it homeless.
Some might call it homeless.
Ginger Jesus.
Ginger Jesus.
Jesus. There, that's your. Now you can have that beer name.
Ginger Jesus.
Ginger
Oh.
Jesus.
John
good.
can have Dark Delight. You can have Ginger Jesus.
Wow, we're coming with beer names left and right.
It has to be an amber brewed with their malt.
And also
Ginger
Josh's
Jesus.
beard hair.
Yes. You can culture
You do the
wild
beer-
You
yeast.
wanted funky.
Yeah.
You're going in funky.
Rogue doesn't know what's coming.
I'm totally okay with that. You can use my beard for whatever.
I really appreciate that.
See, the ideas just flow here on Beer Busters podcast. Thank
They want to
you
go back to
guys.
drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
go
Thanks,
drink.
I don't blame them.
Well, that was a lovely interlude.
It was. Good timing, too.
For sure.
This beer is
Now,
great.
you did, last one was with cranberries, correct? Was that this beer?
The DC Cranberry Farmhouse. Yeah.
Yes. And then the next one you said will be raspberries after this one.
Well, the DC Cranberry Farmhouse was a different beer with their malt also. That was we used the spent cranberries in the barrels from our white and red cranberry barrel aged beer we do, and we put the saison in there, which is clean fermented with just the saison strain. Then it goes in on our house culture, which was resident in the barrels, and that's totally different. That one's a lot more assertively sour compared
So-
to this. This isn't sour.
You just put the DC in front of any beer that you brew with Deer Creek malt.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
the milk stout is the one we've made now 3 times, and we're going to be submitting to the GABF this year.
Awesome.
It's
Also
that good. Yeah. We all kind of fell in love with DC malt at that point, me and Ethan, for sure.
I went absolutely nuts. It was actually when I was still working at Freewell, it was John's recipe, and I was the guy that actually made the beer the first time. And the first time I pulled it out of the fermenter, I had like a little episode. I dropped everything that I was doing and started carrying a pitcher around of the flat warm beer and just shoving it in everybody's face. Like, you need to taste this right now. You need to taste this.
This malt is fucking awesome.
I was it was a brief breakdown, but it was great. It was great.
Those moments it makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
Right? That's amazing. I don't know if I've had
The milk stout?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's one to
That's
try.
on.
It's on now,
It's on
today.
right now. Yep.
There you go.
We're gonna have to try
We're
that.
tasting that on the show. Next tasting
we have
segment.
to keep clean beer on here during Sour
'Cause
Sunday. There are too many regulars
there are
come
some
in.
people that
Oh yeah.
I need Craggle.
Yeah.
And the Dragon's on, so you get, itchy people.
You got to do what you got to do, man. I mean,
I love having John on the show. He just says it like it is. I love it.
That's the way it should
I
be.
love it.
no punches pulled.
No censor.
So we have one more this segment.
Yeah. What is this beer?
This is the Mojito Sour, which is based on our Key Lime Sour, which is a lambic-inspired ale. And then we shoved it in. This one was in Peruvian cave-aged dark rum barrels over a winter after it was already the Key Lime Sour, and then it went into the barrel for an additional 9 months. And then when spring popped, we grabbed some fresh mint and shoved it in the barrel, and it turned out pretty darn good. It was
love
kind of
this
a shooting towards the wind kind of a scenario. My partner didn't really agree with this idea, but it definitely came out awesome. And now we did 5 rum barrels this year with cruising rum barrels for next year.
Yeah, this is amazing.
What's interesting is that in the aroma you get the mint, and it's really strong, and you don't get a lot of the funk and the sour in the aroma. I think it sort of blends into the mint and just makes the mint stronger in the aroma. But then when you taste it,
See, the mint for me is like an aftertaste, pretty much. You get
the mint comes in at the end in the taste,
Yeah.
but it's very present in the aroma.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Can I just say how much I love doing tasting segments now? You guys have grown so much over the last 3 years. I don't even feel like I need to talk sometimes.
Yeah.
I get to just sit here and listen and drink the beer.
First couple episodes, Dan and I were like, "Yeah, it's good."
I like beer.
I like beer. It makes me drunk.
Why is
Oh,
it?
looks like we have another guest appearance.
Fruit farmer.
The farmer has arrived.
Do you want to? You're allowed. You're always allowed to talk.
Well, there's your beer. And there's your beer.
Yeah. What does that feel like being a farmer and coming and?
I feel like a rock star.
You feel like a rock star. You can duck down and speak for a second.
You can take it out of the holster too, and
Yeah, you
MC,
can go all
man.
Bart Kaminsky and just pull it up.
No, I never want to be Mark.
Poor Bart.
I can't be Bart. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Bart's a one of a kind.
There can be only
There
one
it
Bart.
can only be one Bart. That's true. That's true.
Yes.
So what are you getting into?
We are just tasting some sours right now.
Yeah, we're on the
And
mojito
your
right
your
now.
farm comes up a couple times. So how does it feel as a farmer? I mean, typically you're used to not beer being the end product for your
Well, since I've been back on the farm, it's actually been
the
a
main.
new market for
Yeah.
us, because I'm crossing over into the beer world and the farm world. So these guys and other breweries, it's been nice being able to cross over, and it's been a nice new market for us.
You're
the only-
bringing it's like bringing farming back, making farming cool again.
Well, the only
Right?
problem is, unfortunately, sometimes with like cherries and peaches and stuff like that, they may want it in a year. We may not have it, depending on the weather.
Well,
So
it's just like hops.
it's kind of like feast or famine,
barley.
whether you can have it or
Just
not.
don't know.
So
Very cool.
hops are hopefully in the future soon
Yeah.
as
And-
well.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, you heard
You
it
heard
here
it here
first.
first.
No, you didn't hear anything here. I've been fighting that battle with the family that be for 3 years and haven't won it yet. So
You're wearing them
Fingers
down.
crossed.
I'm working on it.
Fingers
We're
crossed.
Wearing them
getting
down, little by little.
As long as you keep growing peppers, that's all I care
Well,
about.
Mid-Atlantic Fruit and Vegetables Conference in Hershey is next week. Monday they have a special class. They're actually doing a whole day for a hop symposium.
Wow.
And a hard cider symposium. So
Nice.
if it's actually making it, it hasn't made the 3 days of conference yet, but it's made the special events. Eventually that will migrate into the conference. Once that happens, it's now mainstream, and farmers will actually start being, oh, hey, this is something I should be doing.
I can make money.
Hopefully I can convince the family to get on the train before everybody else decides to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
not last
absolutely.
minute. Very cool. So we tasted the DC Provisional, which had your plums in it, and we also tasted
The
the
cherry.
Power, which had your cherries in
rocket.
it.
Did
correct?
John tell you the story about the plum one?
No, I wouldn't hear it.
It was never planned.
Oh yeah.
This was a big year. We had a bunch of plums, and I was planning on coming out here one weekend. I was like, hey, could you possibly use some plums? And he's, oh, I think I might be able to find a beer to do something with in them. Well, how many do you need? Oh, I think 600 pounds will do.
600
Okay.
pounds.
Give or take.
I was sitting on the phone with him, and I'm out there in the cooler looking at the plums. I'm like doing some math. Like, yeah, I think we can cover 600 pounds. We got that.
Nice.
But it was like, John's like, well, I didn't really have a beer planned for it, but I can plan one. Yeah, bring them out.
Nice.
You don't say no to nice, fresh, local produce.
Yes.
No,
yes.
and we had an abundance of them this year, so it was nice to have somewhere else for them to go instead of possibly out the back door, because that's never good.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Well, thank you for your produce, and thanks for crashing the podcast.
Well, you know, you're here.
I don't know if you've actually ever been in front of a microphone.
I was just thinking
Once?
that.
At
Little Big Beer Fest.
Beer Fest.
Oh,
yeah.
Little Big Beer
Yes,
Fest. That's
yes,
right. That
right.
is right. Yes.
Yes, I have a face for radio.
Yeah, Free Will's been
Well,
on
and
5
he was
times then.
in the background at Molly Pitcher because we asked him a question.
Yeah, well, that, and he was in the background at 0 Day too.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go
Thanks, Mike.
I'm gonna go get another beer because I'm empty and I'm here, so I'm gonna go drink.
All right.
I will
Yeah.
pass these back to John.
Cheers.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike. Well, yeah.
Should we play a game?
With it, yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. Wayne, pick a number. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
The cool one.
The
Don't
Berlin
say the
nightclub.
cool one. Oh, fuck.
There it is. Thank you. Could it be anything else? All right, let's play a game. Hail and well met, fellow travelers of the interwebs, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the only podcast trivia segment that provides 100% of the recommended daily allowance of shenanigans, is an excellent source of essential tomfoolery and part of a balanced breakfast. Today, we embark
That's the
upon...
second time you said balanced breakfast
I've
this
got
episode.
breakfast on the mind. We embark upon another chapter in the continuation of the beer education of the Beer Buster Nation that is Libation or Fabrication, this time Wild Edition in honor of Sour Sunday. There's real beers, there's fake beers, all of them are unabashedly savage. I will give you a name, and you have to tell me if that's the name of a beer or something that I just made up with my brain parts. And we will begin with our first question to my left with Dan.
Danis
Our
the
first
Manus.
name of the game is Cherry Busey. Is that a real or fake beer?
So,
I like how Dan has a lecture for every one of his answers.
no. It's
So what I'm thinking is,
Like,
I'm leaning towards...
immediately what popped into my head was he would sue over the rights to his name
Well,
or
it
likeness
might
of
be
name.
similar but legally distinct.
That popped into my head, but also I don't think he understands the concept of suing over a likeness, so I'm going to say real.
All right, Dan is, after all of that, going to say real. Steph, what do you think? Cherry Busey, real or fake?
If it's not real, I'm brewing it. I hope it's real.
You hope it's real, so we'll say real. Okay, Ethan, do you think that's a real beer?
It's got to be.
Got to be a real beer. All right,
We're
everybody
not
said
giving
real
Wayne much credit.
so far, and we're going to end with John. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I think I saw that come down the Twitter feed already.
All right, so it's come down the Twitter feed already. You probably did because it is, in fact, a real beer. Cherry Busey is a Flanders-style oat brew and ale from Sun King Brewery in Indiana, and is the beer most likely to be mistaken for Happy Fun Time games at a cocktail party. It is produced, props to anybody who got that reference. It is produced using a complex cocktail of wild yeast and aged in a bevy of barrels. A multitude of Montmorency cherries were lovingly liberated to give the beer its tart cherry tang.
Sun King as...
That is the official commercial description. Those are not my words.
Sun King has been referenced on the show before.
In what capacity?
When we were at Hijinks, I did a news story about Tom Brady Sucks being printed on some beer cans.
Oh, that was Sun
That
King.
was Sun King.
Oh, no shit. Okay. Well, Cherry Busey, for all its pretentious description, was the winner of the bronze medal at GABF 2015 in the Belgian-style fruit beer category. So, you know, there's that.
All right.
Moving on to Steph, who's going to guess first on this one, and this is called Up a Creek. Spelled, you know.
K-R-I-E-K.
Exactly.
Well, you know.
You know, real.
You know. Real? Steph's saying that's real. Ethan, do you think that's real or fake?
No, I think that's too corny to be real.
That's too corny to be real. All right, he's getting the hang of
I
this
hope
game.
it's real, and then they hear me telling that.
All right, John, what do you think?
I'm going to go with real, but I know there's an Up a Creek but from another beer spelled the other way already, for sure.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to go real.
Dan's going to go real as well, and everyone except Ethan is correct.
Oh.
Because it is, in fact, real.
He's excited.
It's not too corny to be real. It's a 6.2% ABV barrel-aged sour cherry Belgian blonde ale from Oceanside Ale Works in Oceanside, California. Now, this is...
There we go.
If anyone from Oceanside is listening, I apologize for the rest of this segment. But, so the beer has an overall rating of 90 on Rate Beer and an average of 3.29 on Untappd, which isn't terrible. But among those that had unfavorable opinions of the beer, they were really, extremely, like, they ran over my dog, unfavorable. Which,
wow.
With such gems in the comments as... This beer is worse than the unwashed ass of Rush Limbaugh after a night of Vicodins and sloppy seconds with Charlie Sheen's HIV-positive hooker cadre.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that guy really didn't like the beer.
On what site is that review?
That, I believe, was from Rate Beer.
Oh, wow.
That was from Rate Beer, yeah.
Pretty coarse for
Those
Rate
guys
Beer.
are those
It
guys
is.
are mean though.
That-
Those
that-
guys are not friendly on Rate Beer.
That sounds like something you'd see on Untappd, but it wasn't from Untappd.
Wow.
The top complaints were that the cherry flavor was fake and it was very medicinal. But the beer, to be fair, does have plenty of gushing fans. I just thought that was funny, so I had to say it. All right, so let's shake ourselves off from that, and we're going to move on to Ethan for our next beer to guess first. And this one is called Easy Come, Easy Goza.
I just gotta keep saying no because I hope they're not. I hope that isn't a real.
He's going to say that's fake. John, what do you think?
Yeah, that's real.
All right, John saying that's real. Dan, what do you think?
I'm going to say real as well.
Dan is going to say real. And finally, Steph.
Real.
Real as well. And Ethan, you are wrong again. Because that is, in fact, real. It's a 4.5% Goza from 10 Barrel Brewing in Oregon.
10 Barrel. I mean, excuse me.
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty apt name considering the brewery that makes it. Easy Come, Easy Goza. Moving on to our fourth and final beer of the game. And John is going to guess first on this one. And this beer is called Cool Ship, man.
What? Is that real or fake?
I'll go fake on that one.
You're going to fake on that one.
Fake.
All right, swing it over to Dan.
I'm going to go fake because they've all been real so far.
All right, Dan's going to say fake. And Steph?
I'm going to say fake.
Steph is also going to say fake. And finally, Ethan, you've only got 1
Ethan's
point.
going to say real.
I don't need to win. That's fake. I don't want it to be real.
You don't want it to be real. Well, you have redeemed yourself on the last question because it is, in fact, fake, and everyone was correct on that. It is not a real beer. And to be honest, it's not the best fake beer name in the hallowed histories of libation or fabrication. But to be fair, I came up with 3 beer names that I thought were fake. only to be deflated through Googling and find that they were actually real. Easy Come, Easy Goza was one of them. All Systems Goza is a beer. I thought I came up with these. No.
Systems Goza.
I know a brewery that would use Cool Ship Man.
Oh, yeah?
I do use a cool ship, man.
Cool shit, man. Cool shit, man. All right, so we're going to add up the points and see who our big winners are. And we have a runaway German Sparkle Party. Yay! A three-way tie for first place.
What?
What is a German Sparkle Party?
I feel I should have a safe word for this.
Wait, is that on tap?
No.
Damn it.
Oh, snap.
A German Sparkle Party in the parlance
Parley.
in the parlance of Happy Funtime games means a three-way tie. And in this case, it's a three-way tie for first place. With 4 points apiece, perfect scores to Dan, Steph, and John. Everyone performing very admirably.
All right.
In second place, but still with 50% correct, 2 out of 4, is Ethan.
Woo!
All right.
Yes. Now that we've come to the end of Happy Funtime games, there's one more thing I want to do before we throw it over to Steph for some beer-jacating.
Please.
It is time for our second edition of our Patreon patron roll call. This is for...
Ooh, hold on.
Nope.
I have to, because we did this last time.
Oh, there it is. Got to get the jazz. All right. So this is
You need your cigar now.
Yeah.
We need cigars.
I was promised
now.
a cigar.
Sorry.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry about that, guys.
I got beer.
dropped
It's
the
fine.
ball.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Beer's more important.
So this is for patrons who have been particularly generous to get their name read on the podcast. However, I'm going to do a one-time bending of the rules. Because, to be fair, at this point, we only have one patron that has donated at a level to be read in our patron roll call. And that is, of course, Raymond Connor, who is now and forever the president of beer. But I do want to give a shout-out to 3 other patrons who have supported us on the show, just because they're awesome. And we're still in the early days of Patreon, so we're still trying to build our patrons. So we also have Jenny Russell, Mead Drinker Tyson, and Lauren Strenger, who were nice enough. Strenger or Strenger, I apologize if Strenger pronouncing your name wrong. But so thanks to you guys for supporting us. You can go to patreon.com/beerbusters. You can throw us a couple bucks, little as $1 a month. We appreciate it all.
Tyson actually has reached out to me before, and I think I slacked on emailing him back about something. Tyson, I'm sorry.
Dan apologizes.
Yes, I apologize profusely. My busy schedule makes me forget a lot of things. He's a podcast about mead, which is why he's the Mead Drinker Tyson. And he got a hold of me after we were at Hijinks and had the guy from Colony Meadery on, whose name escapes me. I apologize. Mike, thank you. Yes, Mike from Colony Meadery. Tyson reached out to me after that. So, Tyson, thank you.
Awesome. I also want to take a moment. It's not something we do very often, but if you guys are out there listening to the podcast, if you listen on iTunes, we don't really pay much attention to this, but we probably should. If you guys give us a rate, a review, a subscribe, all of that helps us become a little more visible on iTunes. And we don't often ask you guys to do much, but we're in the, sort of the throes of asking you to do things now. So that's one thing I think would really help us out. If you're out there listening on iTunes, give us a rate, a review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends.
Yeah, let people know. Although we were 47 pages down on New and Noteworthy at one point in the food and drink category.
Yeah, well, we'll climb that ladder.
Yeah, we're
climbing that ladder.
But
spray paint beer busters on the side of your car.
Yeah. We won't pay
come to our events
for
and get
that,
stickers and just put them in random places.
Yeah, plaster them all over everywhere. Yeah.
Anyway.
But well done, Wayne. Well done. I think in that vein we should do this.
No. Your beers. No, your beers.
Steph, what do you got?
So in the spirit of sours, I was trying to dig through my notes and figure out a sour beer style I had never talked about. And believe it or not, we've never talked about the Berliner Weisse. And
whoa.
What? I know. John has a big Berliner on today, which I've had before, which is pretty killer. So I thought it would be cool to beer-educate everyone on the Berliner Weisse style. So a Berliner Weisse is a sour, tart, fruity, and highly effervescent, spritzy, and refreshing ale that is still fairly popular in and around Berlin. The style was referred to by Napoleon's troops in 1809 as the Champagne of the North due to its lively and elegant character.
The champagne of beers?
Correct.
Trademark.
Berliner Weisse is relatively low in alcohol, usually about 2 to 5% ABV, Since the beer is so low in alcohol, it falls into the German beer tax category of Schenk beer or session beer.
Seriously, 2%?
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Wow.
What?
Shank beer.
Shank beer, session beer.
The other description is good for children and the elderly.
Wow.
Touche.
Nice.
So it's usually traditionally taken with a shot or a Schuss of raspberry syrup or Woodruff flavored syrup to cut the tartness. In Germany, you order a Berliner Weisse ein rotes, a red one, or ein grünes, a green one, or mit Schuss, which means with a shot of sweet syrup. Sometimes it's even mixed with a Pils to counter the substantial sourness. By law, Berliner Weisse may be brewed only in the German capital, similar to the Kolsch ales of Cologne and the Trappist ales of Belgium. The style dates back to at least the Middle Ages, and today Berliner Weisse is brewed with about 25 to 50% pale malt wheat, while the rest of the grain bill is coming from barley malts. So let's break it down. The aroma is typically a sharp, sour, somewhat acidic character with some fruitiness. The appearance is a very pale straw color, usually yellowish, with a large, dense white head, and of course, always effervescent. I love that word. The flavor is clean with a strong lactic sourness that dominates and some bready or grainy wheat flavor. Mouthfeel is light-bodied, very dry finish, and very high carbonation. So I thought it'd be fun to give some notable American examples of Berliner Weisses. One of my favorites is Notting Head, of course. They make a killer Berliner Weisse. Three Floyds Disco. Cigar City, a beer named Sue. Dogfish Head, of course, has the Festina Peche. Bear Republic's Tartar. Is that... Yeah, whatever. Bell's Oarsman. And 10 Barrel Brewing German Sparkle Party.
That's right, bitches.
The number one reason why I wanted to do a Know Your Beer on Berliner Weisse.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So there you go.
Yay!
What's
hope you
like
learned
the
something.
Urban Dictionary definition of a German sparkle?
We should check that out right now.
I don't think there was one, but there might be now because of us.
What do you guys use German sparkle party to?
Well, if there's a
A
three-way
three-way tie.
tie in Happy Fun Time games, it's a German sparkle party.
There's nothing else.
That's all it means.
Well, what didn't you? Wasn't German
That beer
Sparkle
that you
Party was
mentioned
on
was
Libation
one of
and
the beers
Fabrication?
in the game once, and then we just started calling a three-way tie German
I
sparkle
thought
party.
that this was. I thought we were going some weird European porno.
There's a song.
No.
It's a song, but it's on Urban Dictionary, which is loading right now.
Oh boy.
I'm going to try to load the song.
Oh boy.
Please let this
When
be
double
weird
rainbows
European
meet
porno.
German pop singers that are somewhat seen as possible homosexuals. In other words, a gay clash complete with strobe lights, drugs, sparkles, schnitzels, beer boots, pink bratwurst, rubber boots, party pants, etc.
Yes.
Etc.
Pink bratwurst. Is that a metaphor?
That's a euphemism if I ever heard one.
Pink.
That is something
Came
you
to
put
a
in
halt
the
Saturday
magazine.
as thousands of mourners wearing green headbands and one white
We're
glove
listening to this
gathered
song.
outside of
Oh my God.
Tehran's Imam Khomeini Grand Masala Mosque to pay tribute to Michael Jackson. The vigil was short-lived, however, as President Ahmadinejad called for riot police to break up the peaceful gathering. Ahmadinejad, responding to critics via satellite on the Today Show, told Matt Lauer, quote, "The official position
Are we going to have to pay for this?
is that we deny the existence of Michael Jackson and feel it is just another Zionist plot designed to poison the minds of our youth. Jackson, who changed the face of popular music, was fit."
Video is weird. Oh my god, seriously.
Yeah, is this a party?
We got a link to this.
And their fan base just doubled.
You need to post this on Patreon right now. This link. We should play that clip whenever it is a German Sparkle Party.
German sparkle parties. Do you like to party? Yes, I like to party. Do you like to dance?
Oh, those Germans.
Party pants.
Party pants.
Party pants.
Are you wearing your party pants?
I like German sparkle parties. Very hardcore sparkle parties.
Oh, a hardcore Sparkle Party.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'm done.
Wow.
God bless the internet. All right. Let's do this.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight. All right, so we've got a few beers in front of us, and are we going dark to light again?
Oh,
I think we're going dark to medium to
No, we're going dark to
slightly
light.
darker, right?
To red. Dark to red.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah,
to
dark to
yeah,
red.
dark to okay. Well, okay. So we're starting off with dark now. Steph made reference to this one earlier, and then made
I asked
sure
for this while I was in line for the bathroom.
make sure to get us some of it. This is the milk stout, right?
John's Milk Stout brings all the podcasters to the brewery.
Yes, it does.
That was such
Wow.
a stretch.
That was really shoehorned.
wow.
No, it's good. I mean, they can't all be home runs, right? Like, sometimes you hit a double, and that's fine.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
We still love you.
Jimmy
that-
Rollins made a whole career out of hitting doubles. That was good.
Oh. So is it still as good as it was that first time when you were
absolutely.
taking that picture around the brewery?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal beer.
So we should mention this is our
DC.
last Free Will beer.
Yes.
And then we will be moving on to the Stickman Brews.
I thought this would be
Brews.
a good transition beer,
Yeah.
moving from Free Will to Stickman. And this is the DC Milk Stout, so it, of course, is brewed with the Deer Creek malt.
Yes.
And is this the batch that's being sent in, or...
No, we'll drink this. This is probably 2 or 3 batches away because we don't really distribute it. We keep it here for ourselves. So we make it and sell it, and we make another batch and sell it. And keep doing
Sell
that.
it and drink it and
Yep,
sell it and drink it.
Yep.
One for you, one for me.
We
one
have
for
a
you, one for me.
5-tap kegerator in the back just for us, and it has milk stout on it all the time.
Nice.
So
Very good.
And
It is
sometimes they put it on nitro.
7.4%, though.
I was going to say, I had a feeling that
It's dangerous.
It's got bigger teeth than I'm
Yeah,
expecting.
it's like COB. You're like, oh, yeah, I can
Yeah.
drink lots of this. And you're like, oh, I should not have
it'll
had
still
so
make
many.
you take your pants off, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Have you
Your
seen
party
my
pants.
pants?
Yeah, party pants.
Party pants.
German sparkle party pants.
German sparkle party pants.
Say that 5 times fast.
I will not.
This
is
would
really
be
good,
amazing
though.
on
Yeah.
Nitro, though.
It would be.
We have done it, but since it's sold here, you can't growler or nitro beer.
Yeah,
So we do regular gas.
because it's all about making the monies.
Well, not letting it sit too long. 15 barrels
Yeah.
is a lot of beer to sit on an 18 tap list in Perkasie.
This would be good with like to do like a float with like some coffee ice cream, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a really good idea. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to do that tonight. Nicole, are you listening?
Or even with some cherries and a firkin.
Yeah.
Where would you get these cherries?
There's a farm.
I think I know a guy.
I know a guy.
Yeah, cherry guy.
No, I got a cherry guy.
It's funny because that farm's pretty big. And like, he's like, how much peaches do you? And I'm like, 10,000 pounds. He's like, that's a little much.
Oh my god!
What do you mean?
I
He's
can't
like,
imagine.
don't they come from a can? Weren't they put there by a man in a factory downtown?
Maybe he is the man in the factory at a farm.
We're really stretching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
are
this is
we are in the second tasting segment.
Yeah.
Things get a little
Yeah.
That's how things
a
go.
little goofy.
Beer may have been involved.
Yeah. And I didn't eat much today either.
Yeah, well, my food was ordered, but it's busy.
Well, I think on that tangential note, we should start drinking your beers.
Sure.
All right. So we had. So what? The student debt. What? Crippling student debt? Is that what it was?
Crushing student debt, yeah.
student debt. That's even worse. And psychosomatic.
Yes.
Okay. Which one are we starting with?
The crushing student debt, which is the slightly darker
one. All right.
Yep.
So we are still pretty much going dark to light.
Yes.
I was wrong.
All right. I think you mentioned earlier what the crushing student debt was, but remind me what it was.
It's a Belgian double brown.
Okay.
It's fermented with a blend of Abbey Ale yeast.
That's strong.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You do feel it, yeah. It's definitely
good.
there. It's definitely
Lots
there.
of dark fruit notes.
Oh yeah.
That burnt sugar carameliness.
Dare I say dark cherry? A lot of cherry going on
I can
today.
get I get
It does have like a dark, like a black cherry kind of character to it.
I can be talked into that.
You talking to that? All right. What's it going to take me to put you into a brand new name of a car? Sherry today.
How about a Chrysler Sebring?
Chrysler Sebring.
That can't stay in its own lane.
That will drift into a 15-passenger van on 422 and make us late for Sour Sunday.
Anyway, so crushing student debt. Belgian double brown.
Yes.
That's a lot of words in one description.
It's
It's really
a-
just 3 words.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what to call
Three
these
words that
things.
you don't typically see together.
That is true.
You don't see a lot of Belgian
Well,
brands.
he brews kind of like me. I want it to taste like this. Okay, this is how it tastes. Okay,
I'll kind of name
what
it
the
this.
fuck is it?
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't even attach a style to most of these beers if it weren't for the fact that you couldn't sell it otherwise.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard to just say, here, I name this beer this,
It's good. Have it.
drink it.
Buy it.
So like if I say Belgian Double Brown, you probably have a rough idea, right? It's going to be boozy. It's going to have those malt characteristics to it. It's going to have a little bit of esteriness, and there's going to be some toastiness going on, right? That's what a beer drinker would think. I think that's what we accomplished, kind of, but yeah, I don't know what to apply for style.
So is this a beer that you'll brew again, or because of the whole farmhouse, everything's going to be funky? Is it going to be possible to have a standard tap list of things that people can always expect will be on?
100%.
I'm trying to put words together to explain what I'm trying to think about.
You're asking me, is it possible to do consistent products in my brewery, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all open top.
We covered this off air.
Yes, the answer is yes. If you, as a brewer, if you know what you're doing and you do everything at least kind of right, almost all of the time, everything will go the way you want it to go. Bacteria does not have like a homing beacon on it for beer that you don't want it to get into. The tanks have lids on them. So yeah, like student debt, we plan on brewing this beer once a quarter. Our customers seem to really enjoy it. Next time we might kind of mellow it out a little bit by aging it in oak or something like that. But we plan to brew a version of this every quarter. I have a beer called Beer from a Farm that's close to a year-round thing that has Deer Creek malt in it. We have some seasonals planned. So there's 4 or 5. Actually, there's 8 beers that you will see semi-regularly, and then everything else on the taps and in bottles will be limited releases.
Very cool.
So something I wanted to ask you way back in the interview segment and totally forgot about was, where did the name Stickman Brews come from?
This is another one of those questions along with...
is this one of the FAQs?
Yeah. Stickman Brews, the basic idea is we were really tired. The initial conversation came when I was drunk at a bar in Pittsburgh. But I was very tired of just seeing all the like overdone, super pretentious stuff about craft beer, especially when attached to anything vaguely Belgian inspired, because it's the stuff that I like to do. So there are some other breweries, especially local ones who I will not mention, who straight up put like Renaissance portraiture on their labels. And I just think it's ridiculous, because beer is a democratic drink. It's for everybody. And to say that some beer is for fancy people and some beer isn't is kind of insulting. So we just draw stick figures on the labels.
Nice.
And we also serve all the beer in bottles in brown paper bags.
I love that.
And when we do make charcuterie and cheese plates, we give it to you in a plastic takeout bin with the newspaper, like you would get like a burger at a takeout joint.
Nice.
So the whole idea is to kind of remove the bullshit.
I can appreciate that.
Cheers
No
to that.
bullshit zone. It says that
Yeah.
right over the door when you walk in. This is a no
Actually,
bullshit zone.
it's going to start saying no table service. Because
Like, waiter. Waiter.
No.
It's not how this shit works. This would be nice oak aged. That adding that extra dimension
Yeah.
and complexity, I think it'll be really good. But it's complex and it's definitely boozy and Belgian-y, but it's approachable too.
yeah.
It's a good, and it'll be interesting to see. I know you can control the process, but as you adjust it and as it grows and how it will develop and change or adjust, I guess.
Oh yeah.
As you brew it again.
Yeah, this was our first whack at it. The initial tap list was like, I think I said this originally. It was very we tried to go an approachable route in the
clean
initial
beers,
tap.
yeah.
Yeah, and then things are going to get a little goofier as we go.
Things are about to get hairy.
Well, as my first sip of your beers, I'm impressed, and it definitely
She's a harsh critic
intrigues me.
too, so that's good.
Yeah, and I'm not used to talking to a brewer on air that I've never visited their brewery. So moving right along, what's next?
This would be Psychosomatic. Psychosomatic
I think I'm
is a relatively hoppy Belgian dark strong ale.
Relatively hoppy.
Ooh, it smells
Oh,
lovely.
it smells relatively hoppy.
What hops are we smelling?
Columbus and Chinook.
All right.
Ooh,
Wow.
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
Ooh, that's nice. It's nice and dank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wayne's
Ooh.
in.
Oh, I'm in.
But the beer that's backing it up,
It makes claw fists.
yeah,
and
but without being
very
that,
aggressive, serious faces.
Without
I'm narrating
that
for our
gross-
audience at home.
I hate those double IPAs that you get the hoppiness and it's just that gross syrupy malt, because they got to put all that shit in to get it to be whatever percent ABV they want it. But this is like,
Right.
it's hoppy and then it's nice
It's like a sugar shit monster covered in like old hops.
in all the right places.
Yeah. No, I mean like what you were describing the double IPAs that have
Oh,
that
I didn't
nasty.
know where you were going with
Yeah,
that.
I'm not saying this beer. No, I'm saying the
I was
thing
going
that
to
you were
say,
describing.
yeah, I didn't know if that was a good thing or not. I was really confused.
I was gonna go with it.
There you go. That's on your menu now.
I generally assume the beer sucks unless I'm
you
told
should,
otherwise.
You should have Psychosomatic. It's a sugar shit monster.
That was not this beer. See, you're misconstruing my words.
So was the name of
The
the beer
mainstream
inspired by
media
Prodigy?
has taken me out of context again.
Take back our country.
All of the names of the beers are inspired by one of three things: hip
A
hop.
drunk night at Checkers.
Well, that's the name of the brewery as a whole, and that was not Checkers. That was a drunk night at the Rock Room in Pittsburgh, which is the greatest bar that's ever existed on the face of the earth.
Okay, we need to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, awesome. But the beers are inspired primarily by dumb jokes that me and my cousin make when we have been working too late. Working too late. Or hip-hop pre-2000 or deposed communist dictators. Those are where
That's a very eclectic mix of inspiration.
It's where most of the beer
I
names
can't
come
get
from.
behind that.
Yeah. I took that theme to Free Will too. They did let me brew a specialty batch of a beer called Kim Jong Ale while I was here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I wanted to go mainstream with it. Dom said no.
Damn it, Dom. Come on.
The voice of reason.
These kids today and their ironic veneration of tyrants.
I would have bought a lot of that beer.
Well, we did one. We have a Flemish red that we did in bottles that was really well received called Trotsky. That we're gonna brew again. We have one in the tank right now called The Commies Are Coming. I'm gonna do one soon called Pol Pot and the Funny Cambodian Dance Number.
Wow. Wow.
And we'll go from there.
Wow.
We're gonna rock and roll with them.
I love it.
I'm going to say that's a real beer.
It will be. It will be.
Libation or Fabrication?
Quit stalling. Show us your
So when
marks.
is your tasting room open? When can people come to Stickman and have your beers?
We are currently open Wednesday through Sunday, 1 to 9, and Fridays and Saturdays we stay open till 10.
And on social media, you are Stickman Brews.
Yes. We are Stickman Brews, not Stickman Brewing Company or anything like that. Primarily because, I don't know, we just thought it sounded cool.
I can get behind that.
It definitely works.
So check them out. And, of course, Free Will here in Perkasie. You guys are open
Yes, they are.
on days.
All the time. Sorry, I was drinking
24/7.
beer.
365.
Yeah, 3 to 9 on Monday through Friday. Saturday,
that.
12 to 9. And Sunday, 12 to 7.
And Sour Sunday, if you've never been, definitely come.
Do it.
And do you have a date for the next Sour Sunday?
It'll be 2 months, so it's March
March
whatever
something.
the last Sunday is.
Sunday in March.
Yeah.
The last Sunday in March.
Last Sunday in March. Next month, we're going to have an event called Bumfire Clam Bake.
What?
Sounds dirty.
Well, I like clams, and why not do it in February? Fuck it.
All right, fair enough. That's the tagline.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. And they do yoga here, too.
Yoga!
In the morning sometimes, so you can do yoga and drink beer.
Well, why not?
Yeah, why not? So
Why not? Fuck it.
Come check them out. And they are Free Will
Fuck it. Why not?
Brewing.
Yeah, why
Free
not?
Will Brewing
On social
Company.
mo-
Fuck it. Why not?
Why not?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, good God.
Everybody's more flexible with more beer.
Yes, this is very true. My back doesn't hurt when I'm drunk. There were a lot of really good beers.
Absolutely.
Every single one of them was phenomenal.
I'm
every
really
single one.
liking this psychosomatic, by the
Yeah.
way.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I don't think I expressed
Yeah.
that enough because
No,
I was
that
kind of
beer
just
is
not really
phenomenal.
talking, but it's really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's nice and hoppy and like not overly offensively hoppy.
It's a
dank
beer I
and-
want more of.
And catty, like that delicious.
But yet
You
there's no
love
Simcoe.
Caddy.
I do.
But
I
yet
know.
it wasn't Simcoe.
No,
So
but
yeah,
it's still good.
It's good stuff.
there's the allure of Simcoe without having Simcoe. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Sure.
What
Yeah.
he said.
Let's go with that.
What he said.
Oh, wait. Before we wrap up, Bart, do you want to get on the microphone? Because we are ready to outro.
What's up, Free Will and Beer Busters?
What's up? Don't forget Stickman.
and Stickman.
And Stickman, absolutely. That's right, Ethan.
Yeah.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here, like always, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and especially since you guys still have this rockin' tablecloth that has been through absolute world.
Everything. Yeah.
It's
You-
been
you know
all
the
over.
10, I don't know.
Bart, you do know that last time we were here,
Westy.
we had
No,
Westy.
you shared Westy
We
with
did,
us.
That's right.
What do you have for us?
Can
this
you
time?
top that?
Westy's 12. No, I can't.
We were promised
Go
cigars
break-
that never
no,
materialized.
Go break into Mike Weiser's truck. He has beer.
Really?
Oh, right. He does.
Speaking of
Oh, speaking of
which-
Mike Weiser.
That was a
Totally
run
just
by
slapped my
spanking.
ass.
That was a run by spanking that just happened.
You know, I don't know if I ever said this on air, but I have to say, for Hopheads, the shirt you're currently wearing is my favorite shirt you guys have.
Oh, the Captain
the
Hops.
Captain America. Yeah, the Captain
We,
Hops.
you know what? We sold every single one of our Captain Hop shirts, and I am sorry because I definitely planned on bringing them today, and then like the last couple festivals, we just ripped right through them. They are by far
Yep.
our most popular seller.
I have one.
You are capitalizing on something that's very popular, and it fits in so well with my lifestyle, and yet I don't own one.
It does. Like the beer geeks and the Marvel geeks, it's like it just goes.
It's just
AKA
for-
the Dan Bakers of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we are ordering more. We're
Good.
going to get a bunch more in.
Yes, when you get more, let me know, because I don't have one yet.
Absolutely. And yeah, you guys are on the list for sure. Yeah, they're coming in.
And you have the Winter Soldier variant of
yes,
it,
it's actually, we called it Winter Warrior
Yes.
to not
To not
totally
get sued.
rip
Well,
off the trademark.
Yeah.
But
Good idea.
also because there's a Warrior Hops that's out
Yeah.
there. You guys all know. So
Yeah.
we thought it kind of fit. But that's also trademarked. So we can't like put it on the shirt or anything like that. But if we
It's
just
just the
say, hey,
informal
it's a
name.
Winter Warrior shirt.
Yeah, it's an informal name.
Exactly.
It's not the official.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But John, I promise I have two with your name on it, the Winter Warrior and the original Captain Hops for sure. As soon as we have
You have
them
to
in,
put the Free Will logo on
Yeah.
it here, though. I still don't believe he wears shirts that don't have Free Will on.
That's
Yeah.
true.
we could always do a collaboration shirt.
Oh, there you
Maybe
go.
into that,
Oh.
for sure.
Philly
Yeah, it's
Beer
something
Week.
that's becoming more and more popular. Like we're doing some stuff for Harrisburg Beer Week coming up with some collaboration things, and
Yep.
yeah, and
Listen, look for more in March.
yeah, absolutely. And we just kind of started our negotiations for Harrisburg Beer Week, I guess you could say. And I know it's coming up fast, but yeah, the Beer Busters are absolutely be a part of it. And we definitely want to talk to Free Will about that. And now we have Stickman involved. Maybe you guys want to get involved in Harrisburg Beer Week.
We're already
Little
coming
Big Beer
to the
Fest.
Little Big Beer Festival.
Nice.
We've already signed up for it.
You are on air again.
Nice.
And we're bringing that psychosomatic to it, actually.
Nice.
That will go over well.
We're bringing psychosomatic and a wild quad called Mad Skrilla.
Oh my God! You hear it here first. Harrisburg, get your tickets.
Little Big Beer Fest.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah,
a bet.
yeah.
I love that fest.
Yeah.
The Little
That
Big
was
Beer
cool.
Fest is that's a day where make sure you don't drive.
Or if you do, just give yourself like all night to sober up.
Uber, yeah, definitely.
Or
because-
Rich needs to rent another van.
Yeah,
Or
you're not
wander
leaving there
around the
sober.
city for like 2 hours afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you
Yeah.
gotta
It'll be
do.
a fun time.
Who did that?
We can't wait.
Very cool. Bart, thank you so much, man. And seriously, let me know when you get that damn shirt in, because I want
Yeah,
mine.
yeah, you guys have one with your name on it too, as well.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I think Steph already has one, right?
I have one.
does have
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
I was
just
very
the
jealous.
boys. All right.
Boys.
You
Yep.
gotcha.
Awesome. Dude, Bart, thank you so much, man. And if you happen to get any more Westy, come find us.
There's no
You
raffle.
know where I got that?
You got it right here.
True.
It was smuggled up John's ass.
Yeah, John smuggled it up his ass.
It's John. We should be.
John, what else are you hiding up there?
For 3 months.
Somehow I won it by the luck of the draw. On the
Luck of
raffle.
the draw.
Yeah.
Wow.
For those of you not in Radio Land that couldn't see what Dan just did.
You don't want to know. You just don't want to know. You just really don't want to know.
You had to be here.
You can make assumptions.
Yes, exactly.
If only I could have vined that.
You need to put a camera in the room when we're broadcasting.
Telling you, we got to periscope this.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yep.
That might happen.
Yep. Cool. Well, of course, there's always hopheadsgear.com, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Hopheadsgear.com. And, of course, you heard from the gentleman from Free Will and, of course, Stickman, where you can find them. Don't forget, audibletrial.com/beerbusters. You can sign up for your 30-day trial of Audible. Don't read when someone else can read for you, especially for free. Get that book. Let me know what you read, because I need recommendations.
And as long as you're slashing Beerbusters, check out patreon.com/beerbusters.
Is that really the phrase you want to go with? Slashing beer, because like
You're
I'm not
slashing beer busters.
but I'm not like it's
Stroke.
slashing implied like
Stroke. We'll say it in the British
I'm
way.
stroking,
You're stroking beer busters.
That's even worse.
Stroke us hard at patreon.com/beerbusters.
Before this winds up even more off of the rails, this was an awesome day, and I'm upset this is the first Sour Sunday that I've been to, but now I know there will be many, many more. John, thanks for having us out here.
Sure.
And of
Anytime.
course, Ethan, thank you for joining us.
Hey, no problem.
I look
Thanks a
forward
lot.
to the many drunk nights to Checkers we will share.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. South Philly forever, except that my neighborhood sucks. It's kind of
It
grimy.
is certainly up and coming.
Yes, to say the least, to say the absolute least. Well, I am Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and we can't forget our fermentertainer
Wayne Baker.
and our DD Rich. Hi, Rich. No squids were harmed. We'll see you next time.
I got a cherry guy.
Don't lean on me, man, because you can't afford a ticket. Back from Suffragette City.